Yeah, I don't want to go to jail for anything. I'm much too, weak.
And you're pretty. You are listening to the Stand Up Dads podcast.
This is hecka boring.
Yeah, it is.
Let's try again.
And I go in, so it's 9:30 on a Tuesday.
Yeah.
Or Thursday. And I look and I'm like, holy shit, I'm the youngest guy in here by, I was going to say 30 years. I'm like, no, more like 10. I'm like, God damn it. So
It is funny.
fucking old.
Well, Oli told me the other day, she's like, you're not old. You don't look old. And I go, well, Daddy's old. And then she's like, you don't, she goes, you don't have gray hair. And then she goes, wait.
Oh,
No, there's one. Then she goes,
there's
2,
more. Yeah.
3, 4. And she goes, wait, 5, 6, 7,
Okay, enough.
8. And I was like, okay. Yeah, she's like, wow, you have a lot. I haven't looked closely.
So suddenly he's like, Daddy's going to die.
Yeah. It was totally like, you don't look, wait. Oh, no, you kind of do. And then another guy I met, I was mentioning, what was it? Something about the 70s. And he's like, what do you know about the 70s? I'm like, I was born in 72. He's like, It's funny because people act like you're like, oh. I'm like, I'm not a goddamn mummy. I'll usually use the excuse because of the gray last name. I'll be like, I have, and people never get that reference. I'll be like, I have a painting.
Gray. Yeah.
I'm like, I have a painting that
sucks that no one gets that.
No one gets. It's ridiculous. I'm like, they're like, why do you have a painting that keeps all your scars?
Our public schools are failing us.
Yep.
God damn it. Well, today we are recording in someone else's house.
Yes.
We may have to stop when she gets here because she does know we're here, right?
Yes, she does.
Okay, good.
And she said it would be all right. Yeah, and it's her.
We've known.
But we've known her since high school. I hope we're in the right house though. I don't know if this is actually the right one. No, I'm messing with you.
I'm like, hi.
I can see your face.
What the fuck?
You're like, what the? I'm like, this seems like it would be the right house.
Okay, so anyway.
She said there was the horse trailer out front,
Yep.
but every house on the street has that too.
Yeah.
No.
And, nice house. And definitely look for horse apples out there. Almost stepped on one coming in. But anyway, today we are talking about, this is Stand Up Dads. This is Rob and Mike, and we are talking about chores. Reading about it, and apparently kids that do chores are better kids than ones that don't.
And that makes sense. And that's something that I've been super struggling with because I'm just like, my mom gave me chores, but I didn't do them well, and and it wasn't as structured. And I think my mom tends to do what I end up doing now, which is, forget it, I'll just freaking do it. So then you end up not having to do it, and it's super obvious. Like when Olivia goes to her mom, how structured, and how she just wakes up, does what she needs to do, lets her know it's done. And with me, it's like I don't even know how to start to structure it. I'll start to look up things like ideas on. I think I told you I looked on Pinterest and found a whole thing of, instead of, money for chores, they do their chores and they get time. Yeah. And then the time is for the thing.
We'll get into it. Yeah.
But I can't even get. It's like each thing I start to do begets a new problem.
Pinterest is your first problem because I fucking hate Pinterest because I start looking for one thing we're talking about doing a Lego party for my kid's birthday. Yeah. So I was looking on that. Next thing you know, fucking 2 hours later, I'm looking at fucking coin purses made out of a yak scrotum. It's like, Jesus, how the fuck did I get here? And I'm no closer to what my goal was. Because, my parents, they were perfectionists, so I didn't get to do chores. Stuff I wanted to do, and just get the fuck out of here. I'm like, okay, because I didn't think anything of it. Yeah, which explains why I'm such a piece of shit now. But no, but I mean, it was so bad that I didn't know how to do my own laundry until I had my first roommate.
Yep, and that's me too. Yeah, I didn't really know how to cook or to clean or to, and even now I do it better. But
I learned to cook when I realized that it would help me with the ladies when I was in my early 20s. It's like, oh, you cook? Yeah. So that helped. But I'll still remember, I asked, Priscilla, my first roommate, hey, how do you wash clothes? And she just looked at me like I just said, how do I use the toilet? She's like, are you fucking kidding me? I'm like, yeah, do you have to take the buttons off before you wash it? And she just shook her head. She's like, you're so stupid. And then she showed me, and thank you.
That's awesome. Yeah.
But anyway, I got a clip from a guy named Ryan Stout. It was pretty damn funny, where he talks about chores. And here it is.
My last relationship did not work out well because she was stupid. And as soon as we moved in together, she got really strict about chores. She was like, look, Ryan, because that's my name, every week you can clean the kitchen or the bathroom. Which one do you want? And I picked the kitchen. And sure enough, 2 weeks later, she throws a fit when she finds a pile of dirty dishes sitting in the bathtub. Now look.
Sounds like you.
Yeah. Hiding, it's good.
Sweetie, that is not my area. She calls that passive aggressive. I call that strategic life planning. And the plan was working until somebody crapped in the oven. Okay. First of all, I don't even know how you did that. It was not on the rack. But I call that juvenile and vindictive. She called that increased competition to facilitate renegotiation of the initial contract.
That's an awesome one.
Thank you, Ryan Stout. I mean, it didn't have to do with chores and kids, but
yeah, it's still
a lot of this stuff I found kind of overlapped with chores and parents. I mean, not parents, just and adults.
Yeah.
Like my wife and I could get a lot out of this. Of course, now she's going to listen to this and get mad.
Yeah.
But
You're
I found
in trouble now.
I know. But I found a bunch of articles on it. Again, I will post links in the show notes. The first article I saw was 6 big ways your children benefit from having chores.
Okay.
The first one was kids that have chores are more successful as adults, which explains why I'm a fucking failure now.
Dang it. Yeah.
But yeah, there was a University of Minnesota study that started this over 20 years ago, and then 20 years later followed up with adults. And the kids with chores were less likely to use drugs. They had better relationships. They had better confidence. So just all in all, better people. So I'm fucking up my kid.
And it's it's hard because, I don't even know how to mirror it for her, because even the other day in the car, I was like, we got to clean this car up. You got to clean up after yourself. She's like, I'm not the one throwing my soda cups on the floor. I'm like, you listen to me, like, you don't say that.
We have a guest.
I scared Robert when we started recording. He was like, we're at our friend's house. She's like, are you sure we're at the right house? I'm like, well, I think this is it. And I saw his eyes get on me. I'm like, it should be. Like,
we're going to have a pause. Hang on.
This is Olivia, and you're listening to Big, Big Nerds on the radio.
All right, so we're back. We'll have a guest on shortly.
Yes.
Yeah, just the whole giving him chores makes him more successful. And the biggest pitfall we fall into is, no, don't do that. You can do it when you're bigger.
Yeah.
Or you're too little, or,
See, I don't even do that. What it becomes is I've made Olivia too good at arguing stuff. So her whole thing is just like, yeah, but she'll point out what I'm not doing it too, or trying to, she's good at stalling. She's got all the tricks down pat that I did as
your
a kid.
kid.
Yeah, she's totally. And if all fails, she'll try to make me laugh.
She's like you were, but smarter.
Distract. Yes, she's me and smarter. Totally. Yeah.
But yeah, one of the things they talk about, kids need to feel success, which makes sense. Number 2, it helps with gross and fine motor skills. This is more for littler kids. Oh. But if you teach them to put stuff away, they just have to learn to, it's just everyday stuff.
Yeah.
Number 3, kids with chores learn how to work well with others. This is great if you have kids, if you have siblings, because they have to kind of work out like, well, I want to do this. Well, I want to do this. And they got to compromise to do it.
Yeah.
It's like who washes the dishes, who dries them, that type of stuff.
Yeah.
If you have an only kid, they talk about it shouldn't just be one person doing chores. It should be kind of done at the same time, if possible. Yeah. So it's kind of a teamwork vibe.
Yeah.
Number 4, teaches your kid about delayed gratification. This is one where my kid's just a fucking mess.
Mine is too. Yeah. There is no delayed, and I've messed that up so many times where it's just like, well, why can't I just get it now? And I'll be like,
yeah, why can't you?
You're kind of right.
Because I'm the same way. Well, there was that study at Stanford. I know we brought it up here before, where they put kids in a room alone with a marshmallow. They said, okay, we're going to leave for a little bit. If we come back and there's still a marshmallow here, you get 2 marshmallows. Oh. But if we leave and come back and you ate the marshmallow, that's it. So they're teaching them if you wait, you get more.
I'd kill that one because I don't like marshmallows. But if it was something else, if it was, we're going to leave this little thing of Diet Coke and come back and you'll get a bigger Diet Coke, I don't know if I could make it. Yeah. Once it got to a certain level, I would give in like
hopefully
the prices
not
right.
When you were 4. Where they give you know.
I can't remember how little we were. All I know is that we never had like water in my house. We just had soda.
Here, Mike, here's a pimento glass full of beer.
Yeah, that too.
We're gonna walk out. If we come back and there's still beer in here, you get a second pimento glass full of beer.
That's how they knock me out. Yeah,
but
pimento glasses. That's another thing that no one seems to know.
No one knows what a pimento is anymore.
I know the pimento spread.
Yeah.
Like, that's the only reason I even remember it is because they'd have those glasses emptied out for me to use.
Yeah, fuck, man. I mean, that was our salad bowl, the country crock or the whatever.
Oh, yeah.
I can't believe it's not butter bowls.
Yeah. Everything got saved. I forgot about that.
Cool Whip containers.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had stacks of them.
It's like, now we go and buy Tupperwares and stuff, but that was the Tupperware.
Yeah, we're buying shit for
the Tupperware was always. I remember that,
and it's hilarious because we're all, the whole world is recycle, 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 but buy these new products in order to do so.
Yeah,
which I don't know, we're fucked. About the delayed gratification, they're talking about like giving him a treat at the end of the week instead of right away. If the chores were done, it's kind of like a paycheck. If everything got done, you get this. One of the toughest things for them to learn is that you're not immediately paid for what you do.
Yeah.
And it is really like a paycheck.
Yeah. I also messed that up with like the first time we went to Harry Potter. She had saved her money. She was initially saving it for a computer, and then she switched to go to Harry Potter World. Mm-hmm. But she had saved up for like the previous birthday, Christmas, and everything up to that. Saved, like 200 something bucks. And then this time I want to use the season pass again, and we're going to go, and it's like she only had 50. I'm like, I'm going to give you the other 2. So it's like...
Because you want it.
Because I want to go, and I want you to... And it did work well that way because it locked her down to she had to figure out that's all you got here.
Yeah.
So then that really did well where... Except that then we'd have arguments where she'd be like, I want another one of these candies. I'd be like... You're going to do that? And she'd be like, is this my money or not? And I'm like, well, it is, but I don't think it's a smart idea. And she'd be like, well, you're not allowed to say that. So I'm teaching her that at least, the argument part. And
yeah, that's what we need, more arguments. Fucking A.
Let's be a friggin' lawyer, a singing lawyer, because she loves singing. So she's going to be a singing lawyer.
Did she get the call back? Or did she get the...
I'm frustrated with that. They... have not written, and I wrote them yesterday, like, when are you going to let us know? Mm-hmm. They haven't let us know, so
she auditioned for a musical, and we're waiting to hear back.
Yeah.
So we can be about Proud Papa and Godfather.
Yeah. Let us know, man.
Number 5, chores give kids a purpose.
Now I'm all mad.
I know. Chores give kids a purpose, and when I first read this, I thought... Oh, they're saying kids have no purpose in life, but it's more of just giving kids a sense of ownership.
Yeah, and to let them feel what I can see. It's what it's not doing for Oli is it's not making her feel that it's a team effort. She fully believes that I'm there to do everything for her.
Yeah, totally. Let's see. It shows that you need and appreciate their help. In that, and it makes them more likely to help in the future. Because they feel like, oh, this matters. It's even in the workplace. If you feel like what you're doing doesn't matter, you're not going to fucking do shit.
That's true.
And then it boosts their confidence and self-esteem, which leads to a happier kid. And then finally, number 6, teaches self-discipline, which we all need some help with.
That's probably the problem. Is I'm not the. Maybe I'm not the right one to be teaching this. That's why it comes down to the. Don't throw your stuff around and.
You and I never should have had kids.
Yeah.
But one of the things that's a big thing, they said, do not attach money to chores.
Oh, what?
Well, because
wow,
they're saying, if you give your kid an allowance, keep it separate from chores.
Oh.
Because if they're motivated by money, all those things we just talked about go out the window.
Oh.
So it just becomes a greed thing.
So then what is an allowance tied to? Just
that we're going to
I'm
have to
giving
do
you a living wage.
We're going to have to do that on another episode. I did not research allowance on this one.
And this is the only way I learn things, is that I tell you something that I have a problem with,
Dude.
and you look it up, and then we do a podcast on it, and I go, oh, okay.
Anyone from CPS listening, if you are learning how to parent from this podcast, good fucking Lord, I hope you, I don't know.
Or how not to parent. Then they're still learning something.
Yeah, we can be a good example of a bad example for everybody. The mindset, we talked about this a second ago, but it's easier and quicker if I do it, which is where I fall in, because my kid can't do anything right now because he's 6. He's appropriately shitty at what he does, but, lose sight of the fact that he's going to get better.
Yeah.
And, and yeah, it is easier. I mean, it's kind of, but it was like the natural consequences for stuff.
Yeah.
Like when he was scooting his butt on the carpet and leaving poop stains, making him clean it up, even though he did a shitty job.
And when you rubbed his nose in it, that worked
never
good.
did that.
That worked good.
All those who listen
He's
to
on CPS. I didn't
never
do that.
did it.
He's being a jerk.
No, but I mean, just making him clean that, he hated it, but it also stopped the behavior. So that was good.
Yep.
And he did a shitty job. So I would have to go back after and do it.
Would it have been wrong to make him come rub all his toys in it?
Yes. Although I do have I keep joking that he'll ask out of the blue, what's Phoebe doing? She's our cat.
Yeah.
I think she's scooting her butt on your pillow right now.
And will he run and look?
No, it's like we'll be in the car.
That's
it's
hilarious.
like, no.
That's what she does when you're gone. That's hilarious.
But anyway, so whenever you're thinking, it's easier and quicker if I do it, just think about what could be gained from this. Because there are some benefits from having your kid, do stuff, even if they do it shitty.
I do that all the time.
And they are going to get better at it. Obviously don't have them handle your fine china or whatever.
Yeah.
Who the fuck has fine china anymore?
Did anyone ever?
We do.
We would have the stuff that was like, be careful with that. But if we didn't have, I don't remember. My mom never had that's the set from when you got married or something.
We had that. I have my mom's.
Oh, you
and
do?
I don't know what the fuck to do with it.
I bet my mom has her mom's. I bet that's somewhere.
My wife just collected.
Someone's gonna get
her grandma's.
stuck to not hope to break it. I don't know.
I actually like the stuff my mom had, but my wife hates it, so we don't use it. But anyway, the whole moral of the story is the size of the task doesn't matter. It's the responsibility that's associated with it that does. So keep that in mind. And I'm going to get you on board after we get this. We're going to take another quick break.
Hi, just showing you listen to Stand Up Dads.
And we're back. And we are joined now with Cindy Villarimo, who actually went to high school with. Mike and I both
Since we
did.
known since.
And I don't think I've seen you in 20 years. So
I know, this is the first time I'm seeing you, so
Hi.
this is awesome. Hi.
Yeah.
I got fat. And
We all did.
oh, please.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, "What happened?" She looks exactly the same.
You
No,
do.
Yeah.
no, because in high school I was, you know how they had the blood drive?
Yeah.
You have to be 110 pounds to get blood, and I was 98 pounds, so I was always a tiny
Now I'm
person.
111.
She's like 105.
No, I come in at $130. I mean, I've got.
Yeah, but you know what though? She's like throwing 100-pound bales of hay though.
Yeah.
So it's like 130.
It's all muscle.
It's like she's like, oh, I'm up to 130 of muscle.
It's just all the steroids.
And I'm a scientist.
I seem to
I will
recall seeing a
beat you.
Facebook picture of you running a marathon. So
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
for sanity.
I got tired walking in from the driveway. So
yeah.
anyway, Cindy's got 2 kids, and I've been hearing about it. I'm like, God damn it, this needs to be on the show.
Yes, and especially as a good contrast to us going like,
Totally.
God, we can't get our kids to do anything.
I can't get
she's
me
like,
to do this.
She's like easily doing it. I'm like, oh man.
So you got 2 kids. One's 15, and one is
8.
8. And
Yes.
it sounds like the 15 he could be emancipated now. He's just a freaking adult.
Yeah.
What's he
Yeah.
do around here?
So, we have a little ranch, Redwood Acre Ranch, and my son runs a little business. He's been in agriculture since he was about 8.5 years old. Mm-hmm. He has miniature horses that he works with that pull a little Amish-made wagon.
So
and
cool.
He will do like birthday party rides. He does charity work. He gives rides for whatever reason, and that's his business, but he's given away a lot of charity work, which I think has done a lot for him emotionally and not to get too weepy, but spiritually. Like I really see him shine when people, there was this one girl in Modesto who she was 7 years old, and it was supposedly her last birthday that she was celebrating. And they were looking for, through Make-A-Wish, somebody to help provide ponies and stuff. And they had a hard time. And it was sort of a last-minute thing that they were putting through. So a church reached out to us. They knew about us. And my son was competing in a miniature horse show that weekend. But he asked if he can be judged only on the first day. And he decided to surprise this little girl on her birthday on Sunday. So I sat there and I go, well, are you sure you're okay with that? He goes, sure. He's like, I just can't imagine having my last birthday. Yeah. So he showed up and, rolled in and made that. He says, let's give this little girl her. That's
awesome.
Surprise birthday party.
Was it indeed her last birthday?
It was her last good birthday, but I still look at her. Well, I haven't looked at the website lately, but I know that her tumor came back like a year after, but I haven't followed up afterwards, so I don't know.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Well, that's awesome, though.
That is awesome that you did that.
Yeah, the whole time she's talking, I'm like, God damn it. God damn it. God damn it. She's telling me about the resume he's putting together, and his resume sounds better than mine.
Mm-hmm. Oh, my God, man. Yeah.
So I think, like, with chores, I don't really pay my kids to do anything, but my son, there's that story I gave you, and when we were talking about how he will try and get certain projects done. Since we have a ranch, I need him to stain the fence, or we need to clean up. When we first got this ranch here, it was a lot of just junk. It's 2.5 acres of junk. He has this, I guess, after you have your kids doing chores, they have this sense of ownership.
Yep.
So it's more than just money. And you're absolutely right. They always had chores, but they never were paid, and they never really did a great job. Yeah. But now, as a 15-year-old, we talk about coordination. His fine motor skills are really dialed in because he has, he does have a disability, mild cerebral palsy, but just all the work he's done, and now you see him. Well, Mike, you know him. You can't even tell.
You can't even tell. No, he just seems like he just seems like like she's grown a Superman basically because he can do all that.
And I know a lot of parents, myself included, would be like, "Let's protect this kid," and and the best thing you could do is push him, which you did.
Yeah. Well, the neurologist said he had an MRI done 2 weeks ago, and then last month, and the neurologist said, "Do you understand?" She looked at him. She goes, "Do you understand? You could have been in a wheelchair."
Yeah.
Wow.
That was
awesome.
And she looked over. She says, "Kudos to you, Mom. Good job." But it's not that I never wanted to have him do something that he couldn't do, and I never wanted him to be defeated.
Yeah.
But I wanted him to have the confidence to just try and do something and fail at it. So what that led to was he had a golf cart that he would drive around, and it died. And he had enough confidence, even though he knows nothing about golf carts, but he knew that there was no electricity going through this golf cart, and he knew that there was a bunch of batteries. So he actually lifted the seat up, looked at it, noticed that the batteries were low with water, and he went and got water, and he filled it up. So
that's
having
cool.
the confidence to figure things out, doing chores so they feel like they actually just gave it a good try, or if better, completed a project. That sense of completion.
Yeah.
So when you ask him to do something, he never argues. He'll say, "All right, let me just get it done," and he gets it done.
You raised like an old school guy, like like the whole,
the ones that they write songs
our
about.
parents'
We're all the
generation.
men now.
Yeah.
I don't know, dude. Yeah, don't look at me.
Your son is more of a man than I am at 47.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
He's definitely mechanically inclined, and he likes to tear things apart and put things back together. So chores, they lead to leadership skills.
Totally.
He's been doing laundry since he was about 8.5, 9 years old, and I sent him to parochial school. So when he hit around 6th grade, when that's 11 years old, he was washing his clothes at 6th grade. Okay, so prior to that, they wear a white polo shirt. That's their uniform, and navy blue shorts.
Yeah.
In middle school, they wear red shirts. So anyways, he went ahead. He was doing his laundry, and I switched over to pods.
Yeah.
You know, I had like pourable liquid detergent, and I switched over to pods, and I just assumed he'd figure it out. He'd have the common sense. So he pours a liquid in there, and then he comes into the house and says, "Mom, look," and he shows me his red shirts, and they're all mottled because he used bleach.
Oh, he was used to the liquid.
Yeah.
Dang it.
And he's an 11-year-old kid,
you
so
can't get mad at
he
that.
doesn't.
That would get anybody. Yeah.
When I was 14, my first job was at Togo's, and one of the checklist things that I had to do was they had these like towels, and they said bleach the towels. So I said, I said, what do I do with the towels? They're like, oh, just put it in that bucket over there and get some bleach on it. So I put all of the towels that we had, put it in there, and filled it up with like 2 bottles of bleach.
Wow.
That's what they say.
And the next day, it was just like this mush.
Yeah.
They're like, hey, how much bleach did you put in there? I'm like, I filled it up with bleach. And they're like, you didn't put any water in them? I'm like, no one told me to put water in it.
Straight up fuel, baby.
I was 14. And it just, it was
Yeah.
just like this massive fiber. So, hey, your kid learned at 11 what I didn't even know at 14. So.
Yeah. What did he learn? He learned to read bottles. He learned that. So was it the end of the world? No. Although he did have to, I did run over to Target to get him a red shirt for the next day, he's made mistakes and he's learned from them. And I think that's the beauty about chores is because it allows you to make mistakes. It's like homework. I tell my children, homework is not for you to get right every single time. It's homework. It's for you to practice.
That's a good one. Yeah.
Sorry, I can't get it out of my head that they changed the shirts is it Catholic school?
Yeah.
I mean,
you know what? We went to parochial school, but what does parochial mean?
I don't know.
I don't know. Now, once you said it, I was like,
hey, Alexa, what does parochial mean?
The adjective parochial is usually defined as of, relating to, or financially supported by one or more church parishes. For more.
Okay, thanks, Alexa.
Oh, financially supported.
I can't help but think, though, that they changed the shirts to let the priests know which ones are older.
Yeah.
But, sorry. I did not maintain my Catholic faith.
Of age. Closer of age.
So he got to the red shirt and he was like, I'm safe.
Well,
he's like, it says cotillion.
Oh, no.
Or they might have a preference. Oh, that one's, just like Mike says, that one's too old.
What?
Well, anyway, so all this stuff, about chores, how do you get them on board? Because that's part of my biggest problem is my kid has a lot of quit in him.
Yeah.
It's just like, this is hard, and he's just done.
Yeah.
Well, it's always hard at first. It's hard to get the kids to do something at first, but when they have that sense of completion, it's really easy to get them to do it. But both my kids, I remember when they were young, it's kind of like clean up your room, clean up. I have this with Mary. When Mary's 8 now, so it's easier. But when she was 6, it's I just started putting all her toys in a garbage bag. And she's like, what are you doing? I go, I'm just getting rid of this junk. And she goes, it's not junk. I go, it's junk to me. If it's on the ground, laying around, it's junk. I'm going to clean up. And she's like, no. So she started organizing everything. You look at her room, before, if you look at, she organizes her stuff because she knows that crap's going to go in the garbage.
Dang it.
See, that's where
so
being
much
a
better.
single parent is better because I have done that. And then I got my wife coming in going, you can't get rid of this. It's like, God damn it.
Nobody's saving these kids.
No.
No one's saving. And I'm the one that's the one that feels bad where it's like, don't put that one away, not that one. It's like, and then I give up. She knows how to stall it long enough so that I go, okay, now I'm running out of time. She knows there's a time limit where I'm like, I got to get her to bed.
Oh, yeah.
So
kids
she can
have
stall.
Your number. All these kids have our numbers. They know.
Yeah. Right now, it's her shower time where I'm just like, are you done yet? Oh, I didn't even use the soap yet. I'm like, what are you doing? While I was singing.
Kick him out.
And then,
Kick
she's
him out.
totally like I was doing math on the thing. I'm like, don't bring up you're doing math on the show. As if I'm going to be like, oh, well, then that's okay. You can hang out longer. I'm like, get out.
I have a
You
boy.
need to-
He's
you need
going
to
to be
freak out
taking
more.
long showers for different reasons.
Oh, there you
I
go.
know. Oh, well, that's the thing. Like, I never wash my son's sheets. No way. I never do. You walk by there, and I always ask him.
You
I was
do
like,
it.
Oh man, when he was 11 and a half, 12. Oh dear God, it was like, what is dying?
You're like, what the heck?
Oh, they smell. Boys smell at that age. Sorry.
It's what
We always smell.
Yeah.
Yeah. It doesn't stop.
Well, they have a bunch of don'ts. First, don't insist on perfection because, they're going to do a shitty job, especially at the beginning. So just relax about it. Second, don't delay because it's never too young. Get them doing something. They're more capable than you think. And by the time you think they're ready, they're not going to be interested anymore. Because my kid used to always be like, I want to do that. No. And then if I should have just said, here.
I should have done that too. Yeah, now. Yeah.
So Mary's been sweeping since she was like 6 years old.
Okay.
And it's not that, it's just what they have to do. So
Yeah.
every weekend, Kai takes care of the trash, Mary sweeps, and then every weekend there's all the livestock that we have to tend to. So it's just what we do. It's never been it's kind of like you wake up and brush your teeth.
Yeah.
That's what you just do.
That's a beautiful thing. Fuck. I feel like such a shitty parent now. Don't be stingy with praise and encourage it while they're doing it because it builds positive momentum. Say, hey, you're doing a great job, even if they're not. To a point. Obviously, if he's 15 and can't take out the trash yet, don't praise that.
Oh, yeah, right? Oh, my God, you picked up some garbage.
And Olivia's good at using that against me because she'll say, like, I'll be like, we got to work on your flashcards and we got to work. And she'll be like, I thought you said I was doing good.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you are, but we still got to work. So you're saying I'm not doing well now? I'm
she's
like,
going to
hey,
be a great lawyer.
Yeah. She's like, so you're saying I'm doing bad. Like, I'm like, come on. Yeah. She knows.
Yeah. And then the other one is don't be inconsistent. So we are definitely fucked.
Oh, yeah. Because mine is that way too, where it's like, we're not going to do that. We're just going to ignore this tonight and go to the hot tub.
Yeah.
And then the next day it's like,
tub.
no, we got to do this. And she's like,
Well, you and I are
What-
both the same in like, it's been a shitty day. Let's just do this instead.
totally. Yeah.
And yeah, there's no discipline.
Oh
I
man,
mean-
if the kids don't do, it's just that it's a necessity. If they don't do it, it's that the house will go to pieces.
Were you raised in a military family?
No, but my mother was very militant.
Okay.
Yeah, very militant woman.
Sorry,
Like,
I'm just picturing like
yeah.
a Black Panther, but
Oh,
not that
she
type of
had
militant.
us- She,
Militant, that's right.
yeah. The Black Panther, yeah. No, she was very strict when it came to. I mean, people who went to high school with us
Yeah.
that knew my mother, that she would be the woman that bounces a dime off your bed, make sure it's done right.
Filipino moms are no joke. The
Oh,
ones
yeah.
she was from there, right?
Yeah, she's
Yeah.
from the Philippines. I don't know how they are nowadays, but with her, she's very regimented. Very. So when we went to high school, I don't know if you knew, I had like a 3-month detention one time.
For what?
Cutting class.
Seriously?
Yeah.
You were always like student government, happy,
I
go
know,
lucky.
but I was, we
Rebelling?
had Mr. What was it, Tom Alcott, the type. So he would have us type something up at home, and then I would type whatever, and your parent had to sign it at the bottom, make sure you did it.
I never had to do that shit.
Really? We had to do it. And then so I would type like A, B, C, D, F, G up at the top. My dad would sign it, and then I'd tear the top off and say, to whom it may concern, please excuse Cindy from blah, blah, blah. I got caught after like so many days not showing up to
So
school.
smart.
And well, they
Not smart.
They came
Well.
after us, and my mother looked at Mrs. Barrero. She goes, "We're giving your daughter 1 month detention." And she looked at her right back. I'm like, "Oh, geez." Mrs. Barrero was mean, but my
Yeah.
mother was meaner. She goes, "Is that all you got?" She goes, "I paid for my daughter to go to school here. You allowed her to cut class. What kind of people are you? Is
So
that
you got
all
your dean
you-"
in trouble.
Yeah, she's like, "Is that all you've got?" She goes, "You are disappointing." And they gave me 3 months.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
And your mom's on your side. And she was actually in the big picture, but at the time we probably thought she was a big old
Oh,
bitch.
she was a big old bitch. Yeah. Yeah, she was worse than the teachers, actually. Yeah,
Fuck. Hey, you're going to school to get away from home.
that's
Yeah,
what I did.
I get it. I never would have known because you were always so bubbly.
Yeah, it was kind of a facade. No, I'm just kidding.
I'm sad because I'm a shitty dad and you had a shitty childhood.
No, I didn't. I never said I had a shitty childhood. Yeah, no, my parents, we do the best that we can,
Of
right?
course.
I
Yeah.
think that with that kind of upbringing, I always knew my kids would survive, if I just made them do things. And I didn't. It's so hard in the beginning, though. We all have the same struggles. Like Mary, it was really difficult for her to clean up after her. So I started throwing her shit away.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, but if the apocalypse happened tomorrow, your kid would be fine.
Yeah, they'd both be like, all right.
I'd be like, Mr. Kai, what do we do next, sir?
Kai would.
Now we know where to run with our kids.
I knew your mom way back when.
Yeah.
She'd appreciate it if you took care of us.
He'd put you to work, though.
That's fine. I'm not afraid of hard work. Doesn't look it, but anyway, as far as the dues.
And then me and my daughter would get out of it. We'd be like, we really want to do this, but I hurt my hand.
Yeah.
And Olivia would be like, my foot.
You two would be food.
You would be food.
Nope. Uh-oh.
Do you think that'll get picked up or no?
Yeah, it's getting picked up.
Okay.
But
So
we know
take a
you're
break.
doing well because you have a white housekeeper.
My stall cleaner, he's Hispanic, so.
Okay.
But he owns a ranch. He's just like,
Okay. But let's pause until this is done.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, wait, no, it's done. Okay, let's keep going.
Okay.
Okay, so all the dues. One of the ones that popped up everywhere, not just for kids, but even for adults, was make a chore chart so you know what needs to be done. Checklists always are helpful for me. I'm guessing you've already ingrained the chore chart in your kid's head.
Yeah, they know what they have to do on the weekends, and they just do it.
Yeah,
So
that's awesome.
And then I end up just going like, I overthink it and go, I'm going to make this one, that one, look at it on Pinterest, and then go, I don't got time to do that. And then end up.
Pinterest.
Again.
I know, he made fun of me on that. Well, I didn't use Pinterest for the longest time. It was the first time I saw it. I'm like, same as Instagram. I don't understand this. This is stupid. Then I had a friend with Pinterest show me, oh, well, I pin like high resolution images of all these artists I like. And I'm like, so it's a giant book of every artist I ever want? And I'm like, okay, so that's what I use it for. And
Wow.
then I started looking up stuff like chores and birthday party stuff, and it is like a rabbit hole sometimes. You're like, it'll give you so many choices that you end up doing nothing.
Exactly.
Instead.
So it's paralyzing.
Yeah.
Because choice is not always a good thing.
I think that's the other thing too is simplicity. You know, I don't have a huge list of chores that my kids do, but they definitely own the
they're
chores
just
they do.
huge. Mow 2 acres of yard. Go.
Yeah, well, that's what the John Deere lawnmower is. But like taking out the trash.
Yeah.
One person owns that. Sweeping, another person owns that. Everybody's responsible for their own room. Loading the dishwasher. It's just old school.
Yeah.
If I cook, you load the dishwasher, and I'll usually unload the dishwasher in the morning. But the kids take care of it at night. And they break glasses and so forth. And we just go
It's
get new
just stuff.
glasses.
Yeah. Cool.
I need to start this. She doesn't have to do anything.
Oh no, my daughter was loading dishes when she was 5.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, they have to have that sense of completion. Like, oh look, they feel good. My daughter actually feels good when she organizes it in the. No, I think that's a genetic thing. I think men don't know how to organize dishes, period, and dishwashers. And
see,
women do.
in my family, it's totally
Really?
My brother-in-law and I both are fucking Nazis when it comes to the dishwasher.
Wow.
Because we'll totally go in there and rearrange
My
it.
Oh
dad-
my God!
my
You
dad-
might have an X chromosome, an extra one in there.
Yeah.
My dad is that way too
Yeah.
with the like.
Really?
Yeah, 'cause I'm like, what the fuck
When
are you
you're over
doing?
there,
This
yeah.
isn't gonna. You could totally fit like 8 more dishes in here if you do it this way.
Yeah.
And this one's not even gonna get wet.
Okay,
And
so
like-
my son maybe uses that as a strategy to get out of doing the dishes
yeah.
because then my daughter and I jump in and we're like, "Oh my God, you're so stupid! You do it this way."
Oh yeah.
and he walks away going, "Oh, you guys are so smart."
Yeah.
yeah.
And that's exactly my
Yeah, like you
type
see
of
bowls
strategy.
facing each other, that
Yep.
pisses me off.
Oh, I
So
know, I
was
hate
like,
that.
Fucking they nest. God damn it. Anyway.
Yeah, my dad's got it where my mom's just like, she'll just come over and be like, either do it like this or just leave it out. And
Yeah.
not do it
Yeah.
because
Exactly.
you could put it in and he'll come back and redo it.
Yep.
Yeah.
So yeah, doing chores, there's always going to be a discussion, even though they do their
Yeah.
chores, but it's still, we're all doing something together. We're all arguing together. We're all, it's just what we do.
It's still bonding.
Kumbaya.
It's still
Yep.
time.
Okay, let's see. Be specific with your instructions. So just saying clean your room could mean so many things. They're saying be more specific, like put your clothes in the closet, which to me is still too vague.
Oh yeah.
Because
That
put
means
your
dump
clothes
it
in the
closet.
Exactly.
That's
it's all
what I
on the
would've done.
floor.
Oh yeah.
No, hang your clothes
your
in
clothes
the
up.
closet.
This translated even into my early jobs. I remember at the Warner Brothers store, they're like, you can't leave until everything's folded perfectly. So I would shove all the other stuff behind it,
Put
put
something in
one
front.
perfectly
Oh, that's
folded
smart.
one on top, and then move another one in front of it that was done, and be like, "Dang, you're so fast! Yep, I'm out of
my
here."
gosh.
You know,
You
like
are a
you are the
piece of
best. I'm like,
shit.
bam.
You missed a couple details. Or putting 2 gallons of bleach on towels.
Yep. Price Club was another one. You had to put stuff away. I was eating half of the stuff.
Oh, yeah, you would put
that
it
one
away.
Can't put that away. This one was damaged. Go half my stuff.
That's technically putting stuff away.
Stuff got damaged. Yeah.
The old Ratforders that you guys had.
Oh, yeah, those hot dogs back then. Before, like now, they have those nice.
They were in a hot
spots.
dog cart.
Yep.
Yeah. They were in a cart, and like Mike from Pendergast would say, and it was true. It was so busy, you never changed the water.
Ew.
And by the end of the night, it was
Sludge.
so disgusting and rank that people would come up and he would joke, and it was true. They come up and they'd be like, "Hey, what time do you open tomorrow?" And you'd be like, like it was rotted flesh. Like what like if you did smell-o-vision for The Walking Dead.
Smell-o-vision.
Yeah, that's what it was. It was so
funny.
disgusting. Yeah, and then there'd be times they were doing stuff so fast that they realized halfway through he was like, we were using like buns that were like old.
Expired.
But because you're just like, wow, wow, wow.
Oh my
you
God,
know,
you can use them as sponges to clean up things now.
It's so funny that it was even as, that's maybe like 1990.
Yeah.
It's so low. Like,
Oh my gosh.
You know what I mean? Like now they have these, but it's just funny that they were working with a cart.
Oh my gosh.
Remember
hot dog cart.
back then they didn't even have scanners. They had the 2 people like
Oh, yeah.
12742, 12849,
That's right.
and it was just like holy, and they would like memorize
Oh my
them. It
gosh,
was like,
that's so nostalgic.
Yep.
I know we're old.
Yeah,
We are old.
I was supposed to be doing that job. I got thrown into the lot to move carts around because I
'Cause they
couldn't
knew what
remember
you
those
were
They,
capable
they didn't
of.
want they didn't want you touching the food anymore.
Yeah, and it was the dumb thing because then you'd be like, "Where were you for the last 30 minutes?" I was getting carts from the back. Like,
There were carts all the way up A Street.
Yeah, right.
yeah, totally. We'd
Gosh,
be
I
at the
remember
back,
that.
come with like one cart.
This was way far.
We saw you leave with that cart.
I
Why
had
are
to-
you watching me?
I had to fight a bum for this.
Well, now you can't even walk off the property with those carts because
No.
they put a lock.
Yeah.
That magnet.
I
that
hate
locks
those
us.
locks because those
Oh,
locks.
they screw me up. I've almost been injured trying
Yeah.
to accidentally going out of
Because
bounds.
they go off too
Yeah.
at the wrong time. There's
Yeah.
been times I've been walking with Oli where I'm like, "Hey, stay out of the street. Come on, man." They're like, "Oh, Jesus!"
Broke a
And she's like,
rib.
"What's the matter with you?" Stupid cart. And like, I have to unload it in the middle and walk the rest of the way. And she's like, "What's the matter with you? Just stay out of the street."
That's so funny.
The fact that we reproduced is fucking horrifying. All right, easing into chores. First, show them how to do it step by step. Second, have them help. Third, have them do it with your supervision. And then fourth, let them do it on their own.
Or you just do it with them.
Yeah.
Folding clothes. I just do
Exactly.
that. We all do them together. And
See,
yeah.
that's a key. I didn't even write that
And
down.
that's something that I have to learn about mirroring because when we try to do stuff together that I don't like to do, it's like I don't really make it fun. Like I should make it fun. We're both like, it's like we both got to do this. So put your clothes away.
No. I sit there. I go, okay,
I
this
hate
is how
it
you
too.
do it. You have this shoulder meet this shoulder, and then they all do it. It's a project we do,
Oh my
and
God.
so
See,
yeah,
she's
we-
like super parent.
I know.
And then there's me that's like, just make sure it gets in the right drawer. Like, because
Just
my
make sure it gets
drawers
in the
are
right-
all messed up too. Where
Oh,
my
well,
mom will come over sometimes and she's like,
redoing it.
Michael, and I'll be like, "Why are you looking in there?" Because the shirts are like, I'm like, I'll find one.
Well, that's okay. I think my son knows how to fold clothes, but I bet you if I opened up his drawer, it'd be a mess.
Oh, yeah.
But the thing is, like, you have to teach them because they don't know what you
Yeah.
know, and they are just starting. They've only been like, your son's been on the planet for 6 years only, and Kai and or your daughter and Mary, they have to learn. They have to know. I do walk them through. Like, you want to have this go there. You want to make sure that this is even, so that when you have these two meet,
Yeah.
and then you can fold them again. That type of thing. So they, you do have to show them, or they'll never know.
Totally.
But then when they learn, they're like, "Wow, I never knew." They really appreciate these steps.
there was a video of like it's like a 2-second shirt folding video.
Oh, really?
Where you
Wow.
like grab it on these 2 magic points and you just lift and then it magically goes into a rectangle.
What?
And I showed that to the kid and he didn't want to do it my way anymore. And I couldn't do it. So
That's
it's like, no,
amazing.
make it like the video. I'm like, I fucking
That's
can't.
amazing.
Because that was like stop motion.
Yeah.
They just had them go like this, and then they like throw.
Yeah, but yeah, definitely model it because if we're not doing it, they're not going to fucking do it. And then take it easy on the reminders and deadlines. Don't micromanage because no one fucking likes that. And one of the techniques they called is called the when then. and it's like when you feed the pets, then you can get your dinner.
Oh.
So it's just kind of, it's like it's up to you
And
entirely.
if they don't, then they have to eat with the dog.
No. No.
These are
I use
good.
the win then at dinner time. If you don't cook food, you won't get dinner.
There you go. Then they have a thing about age-appropriate tasks. For kids 2 to 3, yes, you can start them that early. Put your toys away, fill the pet food dish, which that's always a
Wow,
nightmare
that's
because
nice.
it's always cats eating
Yeah,
forever.
tons of food. Yeah.
Mary has it down.
Yeah, you got some.
I put actually with the I put the dog food in a smaller bag.
Yeah. Oh,
and
smart.
and then she'll pour from the smaller bag.
Yeah, I tried doing that with like milk so my kid can make his own
Yep.
cereal. Because if he gets the big gallon, it's just you're guaranteed a mess.
Oh, that's
It's too
I had,
heavy for him. Yeah.
It's funny to watch though.
so
I can do it.
when we
Do
were
it.
living in Carmichael, my son was always a picky child. And so I stopped cooking for him. I would go grocery shopping and I would say, you find things that you want to eat and you make it. So he started learning to make like fresh pasta because you can boil that. You know, he'll microwave a frozen pizza or whatnot. He went across the street. He was 10 years old at the time. He asked if he can make, something. And they were like, no, we you can't just make it here. And he said, yeah, I can. And he showed her, you have fresh pasta here. We'll make this and this. And she texted me, the neighbor. She goes, your son is cooking dinner for us. She goes, how did you get him to do that? I go, you stop cooking dinner for him.
Yeah.
That's what you do because they don't eat what I eat. So it's like, well, then you better start making your own food. So.
Nice.
That's a good one. She probably would sit there for the ones she wants, like mac and cheese or tomato soup and stuff like that. The stuff she likes.
Well, she can make that on her
Make
own.
that yourself. Yeah.
Yeah, my son can make that easily. He's learned to. So here's the self-satisfaction thing. Because he knows how to make things, his mind started to wander and go, I bet you I can make my own homemade bread. I can make my own homemade pizza dough.
I love your kid. I haven't even met the little
I
fucker.
know.
And these kids have YouTube.
Yeah.
So he just YouTubes the shit. And
Yeah, but most people use YouTube to watch like Minecraft videos or
no,
something.
no. Well, it's the same process,
Yeah.
except you're being more.
I know,
you're making,
but this is productive.
And this is what you're
Yeah.
not giving yourself credit for. Is like him to take that next step is still not me or probably
that was ingrained from you guys.
That's
not
ingrained
genetic.
from you.
That's
Yeah.
nurture, not nature.
Because I'd be like,
So-
okay, I can make this.
Good job,
so now I'm going
asshole.
to eat this forever, and now I'm going to go back to doing what I
Right.
want to do.
So, like when I travel, he'll make dinner for his sister. So I
Awesome.
know that the children are fed. And before when he was on, he had his bike. He would go to the grocery store and pick up some stuff. He has his own money. He has his own bank card, and
Nice.
everything.
Dang, he even
So-
has his own.
He's
bank.
doing better
Yeah.
than me. He has
Yeah.
money.
All Olivia wants is there was a kid in first grade who his parents had gotten him a bank account, but the kid would brag that he had a bacon account. So that's all Olivia ever talks about now. It's like, I don't
No.
want a bank account. I want a bacon account.
So Kai flew to Canada, and
By himself?
yeah,
Dang.
and with a friend who's 16 years
He's
old.
like starting businesses. He's
I
like,
know.
I might move to Canada. It's
But-
better for.
Well, this is what he did because he bought a $300 round trip ticket. So his flight went from Sacramento to LA, from LA to Atlanta, Atlanta to JFK, New York, and then to Canada.
Wow.
But he bought it, and he travels by himself. He
Yeah.
flew home from Switzerland at 13 by himself.
Okay.
So it makes them a little bit more confident.
Hell yeah.
You know?
A little bit more.
Dude.
I got people who I know in my my family or extended family that won't fly. They're like, I'm gonna die flying. Like you've got him able to like fly on multiple planes to get to where he wants.
I'm going to have him babysit my
Well, he
kid.
did the multiple planes because he wanted to buy the cheapest ticket.
Yeah.
So-
Smart.
Oh, and he is certified for babysitting too.
There's a certification?
Yeah, he got certified when he was 10 years old. Sutter has it, and him and his.
Ah.
It's funny because he wanted to do this because
Yeah.
I wanted him to watch his sister.
Yeah.
They teach you CPR when
Yeah.
they teach the children how to have the confidence to call 911 when there's an emergency.
Cool.
Because some kids they'll be like, "Is
Yeah.
this really happening?"
Sure.
So they really work with these kids. They teach them how to set up a babysitting business. He asked his friend across the street to join him, and his friend got there early and texted him and said, "Dude, when are you going to get here? We're the only guys here."
Ah.
And my son texted back and said, "Get some digits."
Get some
Nice.
digits. And he was working it that way. Wow.
And he's scoring more than you. Single dad, but
Oh gosh.
I know. Single dad.
Okay, back to chores for little kids. Put clothes in a hamper for 2 to 3. Wipe up spills, dust, and pile books and magazines.
Yeah.
For 4 to 5, they can make their own bed, empty wastebaskets, bring in the mail, clear the table, pull weeds if you have a garden, use a handheld vacuum to pick up crumbs, which my kid still loves to do, water flowers, which can be scary because he just floods the yard, unload utensils from the dishwasher, wash plastic dishes at the sink, and fix a bowl of cereal. Ages 6 to 7, all of the above, plus sorting laundry, sweeping floors, which you have your kid doing, set and clear the table, help make and pack the lunch, weeding and raking leaves, keeping the bedroom tidy. 8 to 9, load the dishwasher, put away groceries, vacuum, help make dinner, make your own snacks, wash the table after meals. Who does that?
Look at all this shit on my
that
table.
I realized, like, I would like to. Is that all right, or is that gonna pick up?
We can pause.
Hi, my dad has a really stinky butt.
All right, so we're back, and so it's just all sorts of shit, from mopping the floor to walking the pet, and then for 10 and older, laundry. I'm going to post a link to this. You can see the list. Along with that, there was a thing about doing chores for adolescents because they're a fucking pain in the ass to deal with. And
except for Kai.
well, yeah, but he's a freak.
I'll make sure he knows that.
Yeah,
She's-
in a
I'll
good
let him-
way.
Yeah.
Yeah, with the teenagers, like you talk about his room being scary. There's a comic here, Chad Daniels. I've brought him on here before, and he has a joke about he refuses to go into his teenage son's room, and everyone's like, well, why? He's like, have you ever stubbed your toe on a sock?
Ew.
Oh, yeah.
That's disgusting. But I believe it.
Yeah. So, they talk about, by the time they're 12, they should be able to do most of the stuff. By the time they're 16, driving should be seen as a reward and also part of the chores. Hey, go pick up dry cleaning. Hey, go to get this at the store.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of the teenage. Good thing I can edit.
Yep.
Where the fuck? Why are the pages stuck to each other, Mike?
Oh my gosh, ew, Mike. You may want to wash your hands after that.
I had to read that in the restroom.
So they talk about the fight for the kids' room, teenagers like we did. When it says, this is my room. I should be able to do whatever I want with it. And then the parents will say, well, this is my house. And their thing is, you know what, just compromise. And if guests are over, shut the fucking door.
Yeah, but there's my son has friends come over, and he actually cleans his room because he has a sense of ownership of his room.
Okay, we're not talking about your kid anymore.
I like that.
But when they do,
each time she's like, actually, that's false.
Yeah,
because
actually.
well, because I've seen these kids, when they're like, you can have your friends over, and then they look at their place, and if it looks like a pigsty, they're like, oh my gosh, they're coming over, and it looks gross.
Yeah. Well, their whole thing is, keep the door shut if you know you're going to have house guests.
I'd shove everything in the closet. Yeah. That's what I would have done.
But kind of just their main thing is like keep it cleaned up at least once a month, and then also if there's
so
any
it's not
smells,
a fire hazard.
Exactly. And if there's any smells or anything like that, we got to take care of that.
Yeah.
Which I don't know. We can go over to the bad dad, but before I do that, last week we did a show on yelling, and
I can't help you there. I yell all the time.
well, here's the thing. If you listen to it, so I haven't yelled at my kids since last Friday.
Yeah.
That's pretty
And-
good. Mine was last night.
Yeah, well, yeah. It was a conscious effort. Yeah, it doesn't mean I didn't want to strangle the little fucker.
Yeah.
But I actually noticed a huge difference. He's such a better kid. And
Wow.
he actually does listen better. Like, if I ask him nicely, and he's like, okay. And sometimes I have to ask twice, but it hasn't been as much. Like, when I'm yelling, I have to go, come on, do it again. And just, it actually fucking works.
Yeah.
Oh, it totally does when you go psycho. Not like mommy dearest psycho, but
but
that whole thing picking up the toys and throwing them in the garbage. I was pissed off. I asked her to clean her room, so it's like, you know what? And she's like, "What are you doing? What are you doing?" I'm like, "No, that's it. I'm done with you."
But not yelling actually worked. Actually, I slipped last night because he kicked a knob off of my desk, and I told him not to. Like, stop! But that was it. But other than that, it actually kind of works.
Really?
So, yeah,
Wow,
I was really
okay.
surprised.
Oh man,
I want to run this same test because what I find happens with me is, like I said before, where I will ask, like, hey, we got to get you to school. You've got choir. You got to get up. You got to do this. You got to eat your food. You come back and you're like, you still got to eat your food. We only got 20 minutes. We got, and then it's like, get out of there, and then it's like, and each time she's like, she goes, yeah, I got it. I got it. I'm doing it.
And they're not moving.
I'm doing it.
Yep.
Yeah, and it's
There's
like,
just, but I did notice there's a lot more of getting down to his level, looking him in the eye, and just calmly saying, hey, I need you to do this because
that
of
might
this.
scare her actually if I start
Right.
to do that.
Because
maybe
you're
that's what it
engaging
is.
them. Well, I
Yeah.
think you have to engage them, and they're not really engaged when they hear noise.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, I'll get it. But getting down to the level.
And then he made me almost cry yesterday when I was taking him out of the car after I picked him up from school. Mm-hmm. And he's like, you know what I want for Christmas? I'm like, fuck, what? It's like, I want you and Mommy not to yell at each other. And I was like,
Oh, that's so. Oh my gosh.
okay, buddy. How about I get you a car or something?
Yeah, that's a good one.
But-
You're just getting a toy
That's
though.
good. Food for thought. Food for thought. But yeah, I think that when you're emotionally sound and you're not yelling, but
That's
it's
not
hard. Yeah, it's hard. I don't yell at them all the time because
Sure.
they do stuff, but we always have our breaking points.
Totally.
So I feel bad.
And they know
Yeah.
though. That's what sucks is Oldie will flat out say sometimes like I'll be like, why do you listen to Mama more? And she's like, because Mama will get mad
Yeah.
and I can get away with it a lot of times. I'm like, oh.
Well, my mom would always kind of be hard to talk to, and she would be the constant, not yelling mom, but in the same form.
Yeah.
I think one of the things is when you are yelling all the time, they're afraid to talk to you,
Totally.
and that's what that scares. And so I appreciate when I do lose my cool, I always have to tell them and apologize to them as human beings, but because you don't want to lose that their ability to talk to you.
Totally.
Yeah.
Well, and yeah, I mean, I'm 10 times bigger than my kid, so it's just, I'm probably terrifying if I'm in a rage, and I fucking fly off the handle pretty quick usually.
Yeah.
But speaking of which, bad dad.
Yeah.
This one, I couldn't believe it. Like Mike and I both thought it was a joke.
I thought it was a joke, but it's amazing.
And the article is called, Who is Wrinkles? The clown parents hire to terrify their misbehaving children.
Oh, that's just sadistic.
So
What the fuck? Oh my god.
in Florida, around 2013, it was an urban legend, but apparently there's something to it. This guy, Wrinkles the Clown, has a website, and you can hire him to stalk your kids.
That's fucked up.
There's a clip; it's been seen like a million times.
I think I'm gonna actually hire him to stalk my son and see what happens.
Yeah, well, that's it. I thought about it as like, why does it have to be for kids?
Yeah.
I'm gonna send this to my mom and dad. Hey, a surprise! They'd be,
I'll send
kill
him to
you.
my mom. My mom will kill him.
Well, there's
And that's the problem.
footage.
Yeah, they'd end up. My dad might kill
Yeah.
him.
When they're that old, they're like
Yeah.
they have nothing to lose.
Well, there's pictures on it, and again, I'll post the site. There's one was like a kid with a trundle bed under the bed,
Oh my God,
and the
that's horrible.
clown
Is
actually
No.
in the middle of the
Oh my
night
gosh.
comes out, and there's
So
footage.
fucked up.
That
That is so creepy.
There's a clown. There's pictures of the guy standing outside the window
That's
in the middle of the
disgusting.
night.
Oh
So
my
what
gosh.
was their? So what did they do? Did they say now that you've been bad, this clown's
Creepy the
coming?
clown
how
or
does that
Wrinkles
even
the clown?
teach
I
us?
is coming?
guess it's
don't
just
understand.
parents will hire him, and I'm like, whoever hires this guy is the biggest fucking asshole.
God.
Well, that you would think that
just-
would be a CPS thing.
That's a
That
total
should be.
CPS thing. Oh my
I mean,
gosh.
it's torture.
If
That's
you're found
hilarious.
out
How do you
doing that, you
find that?
lose your
Yeah.
kid. Is probably
Yeah.
Well, and here's a quote. His mother called back a few days later and said, "Thank you. Now, when he acts bad, we just have to ask the kid, do you want Wrinkles to come back?" So
Oh my God.
I understand the desperation of wanting to
Oh my gosh.
Oh my
to
god.
do the drastic to keep your kid in line,
Yeah.
but that's going a little far.
Yeah.
I want a copy of that because
Oh, of course.
a friend of mine is complaining that her son keeps vaping. I go, maybe you can scare it out of
Yeah.
him with wrinkles.
Oh, well, see, I would think vaping something that might be a wrinkles
Totally.
level offense.
Yeah, and some of
Then-
these kids are vaping pot, so it's like
But
so you
he's
can
in
have wrinkles
Florida.
come in as an apparition or something.
Well, I'm sure it's going to have a bunch of copycats all over the country.
yeah.
Yeah.
And there's always some sick fuck that's willing to scare kids.
I know.
Yeah.
But
I
the
might do
little
it. You want me?
Dude, you'd get your ass kicked by a 10-year-old.
I
Get
know.
out of
They
here.
just beat me. I did injured right away.
kids- Fuck you, wrinkles.
I'd get hurt on my way. Yeah. They'd be like, yeah, no, I'm not buying it.
So,
Like,
let's-
is there a child in there? No, my voice just didn't change. Leave me alone. Is that a lady? Shut up.
Oh my god.
lady clowns. Let us know what you think. Email us, thesateupdads@gmail.com. And still looking to hear from some more international dads. And I was Mozambique a couple episodes, and I was talking about where we were getting a bunch of downloads.
Yeah.
We're getting them from there. We just got some from Morocco the other day. So I really want to hear from you guys.
Cool.
If you need artwork,
You can go to pencilforhire.com which is pencil, FOR hire.com. On Instagram, it's also Pencil for Hire. Every time I get this wrong, because whenever I always forget he's going to say it, and then it makes me overthink it.
And then check my side project, the Gag on This podcast. We record at Blacktop Comedy Club every Wednesday at 5:30. That's up in Rockland. We interview local comics, have a great time doing it. And Nick has a sponsor there. I mentioned it before. It's Bag of Dicks. And if you think I'm kidding, it's very true. Find Gag on This podcast on Facebook or on Twitter at gagonthis_pod. Send a message, and you could win a bag of dicks. And if you don't want to take the chance of winning, go to bagadicks.com and enter the code GAGONPODCAST to get 20% off of your own bag of dicks. And you have several choices. So you can send it to yourself, which I don't know why you'd send yourself a bag of dicks.
Does it come with a bag of batteries?
No.
She's all. Wait a minute. These are not the. You're like, I'm going to order right now. I'm like,
20% off.
Are you afraid of your kids listening to this program?
Is there a bag of
Mom,
them?
why would you want batteries for your dicks?
What's even better is she wants a bag of them.
Yeah. I just go through them so
I'm going to wear them out.
You
Give me
said
a bag.
There's a variety of them. Is that what you
There
said?
are. Well, there's little multicolored ones.
That's true.
You could get a bag of black dicks.
Oh, well, now you know, because these aren't like they're like little gummies and
Yes.
stuff, right?
Oh, they're gummies.
So-
they're gummies.
Yes. So
But
they're
now
1 inch big.
maybe she's giving them an idea
Yeah.
that the bag of dicks could be just
well-
a bag of variety of.
Actually, we recorded last night, and I said, do they have a bag of tits? Do they have a bag? And they apparently not, but
What
they
the
should.
heck? Yeah.
But
Bag
anyway.
of butts. Bag of.
So anyway, but you could get the regular.
You'd like the bag of butts.
The bag of buttholes.
they
He needs the bag of buttholes. That's what he needs.
So
He's all, they're delicious.
this is our PG-13 podcast. Thank you.
That's hella funny.
But yeah, you could get that. You could send them to other people. You can get the singing bag of dicks.
See, I like that one. The one he said that what it does is you can get one. Or you say,
Yeah, you got the regular singing one, so you
Yeah.
open and close the box. It's like a greeting
really?
card.
Cool.
It does music.
Yeah.
Or you could send someone the evil bag of dicks,
Oh.
which once you open the box, it doesn't stop till the battery dies.
I like
Which
that
could be
one.
anywhere from like 6 to 12 hours.
Evil one.
Yeah. So I was thinking I might send one to my old boss.
That's awesome.
And I was telling him, hey, maybe we should send one to the White House. But then I'm like, that could probably open up a world of problems. But anyway, find them, Gag on Podcast for 20% off. And Cindy, thank you so much for joining
You're
us.
you.
so welcome. So good seeing you again.
We will see you
Yep,
guys
both
next
you guys.
week.
Yay.
Thanks. Okay, bye.
Bye.
The thing I want to say is thank you all for coming. Bye bye.